Good morning. Welcome to Energy Works. Today we're talking about your body hears every thought. It's a little scary, isn't it? So, what we think really matters. What we think about ourselves, what we think about our body, what we think about our chances of success. It's all heard by our body. And so it's like what we think and what we feel has to start to match up. So it's like having love and kindness to your body and thinking about things in a loving manner and in a positive manner is really important, because when we criticize ourselves, which we often do, and I know I'm guilty of that, we may not be sending a good message. And so it's important that we do send a good message to our body and to, every cell in our body needs to hear, the love that we feel and the gratitude we have for being alive, that our body functions. It may not always function perfectly, but of course, the things that don't function perfectly are the opportunity to do things better, aren't they? We learn from our body where the energy is stuck. All right, so let's go into our solar plexus chakra, which is about, the desire to go and do things, the motivation, just getting on with it kind of thing. All right, so it's weakened by self-consciousness. And, we all have that problem, don't we? It's like we don't want to look bad or silly, or, sometimes we're scared to even start something because we might fail. And yes, we might, but, when we're old and we're sitting on our porch, we're not going to regret what we did and didn't work. We're going to regret what we didn't do, what we didn't have a go at. So it's like, have a go. Just try. And, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if you don't try, you'll never know. And you might be something that you love and you just don't know how that will go. All right. So I no longer compare myself to others. Which we often do. And they say comparison is the thief of joy, because we always think other people have it together more than we do and that we're failing miserably. Good morning, Cecile. So, I guess if you looked at any person's entire package of their life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, if you knew all the difficult bits that they face, you might not choose their life if you knew all of it. And the same with us. There are some parts of our package that we love, and there's some parts that we just absolutely struggle with and don't like. But we are here to learn and we're here to grow. And often our body provides that opportunity. So it's like we've got to get in sync. We've got to speak kindly to our body, and we've got to listen to what it's saying and, address the things that it's telling us are not quite right. Good morning, Elizabeth. All right, so I no longer care about how others perceive me. And sometimes we worry about that too, isn't it? That we might be perceived as being mean or selfish or greedy, and maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. Who knows? All right, I'm worthy of love, kindness, and respect, regardless of what I have done. I'm able to see past my weaknesses and allow them to become my strengths. And I think that's a good thing to remember, because the things that we couldn't do often can become our strengths. Oh, good morning, Irene. So, if your body was giving you some clues to where the energy is stuck, where is that in your body? What part is complaining? And are there things that you're saying to yourself that aren't good? I know I fall in that hole regularly and have to have lots of energy clearing. Good morning, Margaret. So let's go into our heart chakra now. Okay, so again, where is your body complaining? Okay. Okay, now this is oil called black spruce, and it has come up a few times. Okay, so still saying bladder. All right. All right. All right. So black spruce is an ally in dealing with fear. So every meridian, every organ has feelings that relate to it. So some of the common feelings that come up with bladder and kidney would be fear, um, paralyzed will, wanting things to be different and it's not, and we don't know how to change it. Impending doom, waiting for things to be bad. Dread, what could go wrong? All those feelings can be tied in with the bladder. Right, so black spruce is an ally in dealing with fear, especially subconscious generational fears. So, maybe that's something you can ask too of the fear and the dread and the impending doom and the problem that you feel, how much of it is actually yours and how much is it generational? And you're doing a great job clearing the generational work. So, go you. So, all individuals hold genetic and DNA memories from the generations who have gone on before. At times, individuals may struggle under the weight of fears that didn't originate with them. So, black spruce helps them gain clarity about fear based memories and release them from the mind and the body, freeing themselves and others in the process. Because if you're freeing yourself from generational patterns, of course, other members of the family that have this same generational pattern will be free as well. All right, another oil that comes up here is Douglas fir. All right, Douglas fir teaches individuals to learn from and value others' experiences, especially one's family and ancestors. It encourages respect for one's elders and ancestral heritage. Douglas fir reminds individuals that valuable wisdom can be obtained by learning from the past, especially from individuals who are older, wiser, and more experienced. So, if you like the smell, you can put it closer to your head. If you don't like it, put it on your feet. But we want to change the energy in your body so that you can listen to what your body has to say and it becomes a forward, ongoing learning experience. All right, so back to the solar plexus chakra. And one of the qualities of this is radiance. So, are you radiating what you really feel and what you're bringing to the world? Because you, as an individual, have your own talents and gifts, and they may be totally different to other people, but they're what are needed in your particular sphere of life. And you came to the world especially with those talents and gifts because that's what's needed. And we need you to be you. So we need you to radiate what you feel. All right. I make wise decisions. I make all my life choices in the interests of my highest growth and learning. And that's the bottom line, isn't it? We want to grow, we want to learn, we want to be stronger and better and wiser. All right. I continually see and follow my divine path. So that's means tuning back into what we feel and what we're open to doing, um, from an inspired point of view, feeling that we should do something and we do it. And then, that's kind of like the highest way we can live our life. All right, I'm able to see past my weaknesses and allow them to become my strengths. I think we talked about that before. So this has got a generational component to it. Dad's side, dad's mum's side, and the men. About 7 generations of men. Okay. So some stuck emotions. All right, so openness versus boundaries. So boundaries is like, drawbridge with a castle and a moat. And it's like when the enemy's coming, it's like, quick, put the drawbridge up. And we want to stop any enemies coming in to trash the castle. So sometimes then we have such strong boundaries that no one can ever come in. So we can't have a relationship, or we can't have friends, or we don't let anyone be close to us. So that's like too like the drawbridge is nailed shut. That's not good either. So it's like having that balance between interacting with people and loving people, and also being able to um, learn and grow through people. All right, so the feeling of stubbornness comes up. I'm sure that's one of my favorites. All right, so generational stubbornness, dad's side, dad's mum again, and the men. So about 45 generations of men. Also stuck in the genes there are the feeling of disgust. All right, and it can be a generational pattern where we have disgust towards ourselves, that we're not kind to ourselves and we don't think nicely about ourselves. All right, age 6. So some stuck emotions stuck in our energy field from age 6. All right, and negative thoughts against yourselves. Now, some of these patterns that we have of hating on ourselves or not loving ourselves started very early. And, we've sometimes drawn the wrong conclusion when we got in trouble. And maybe it wasn't even about us, maybe it was about our family, and we were the brunt of what happened. Good morning, Elizabeth. So, yeah, negative thoughts against self. So, I guess if we talk negatively to ourselves, it's like we're setting ourselves up to get sick, or to be not okay, or to damage part of our energy field. So it's like we have to be very careful what we're thinking. All right. Ceremony. Good morning. All right. So we're going to go into the throat chakra. And again, we're talking about our body hears every thought. So are there any thoughts that keep going around in your head that aren't the best, that maybe we need to clear some energy around? All right. So what's coming up in our throat chakra is keeping in what we really need to express. All right. So it's now the right time to express the best of who I am. So we need you to express the best of who you are. However you express that. We want to hear it, we want to see it, we want to feel it, we want to know. Like sometimes a piece of music will just open your mind to something or open your heart to a feeling or to express what's really stuck in there. So if you didn't write that song or that poem or do that dance or paint that picture, we wouldn't be able to understand our feelings as well. So we need you to express however it is that you express. Okay, jumping into the brow chakra. All right, my intuition and awareness are gifts. Sometimes they don't feel like gifts, isn't it? Sometimes we get information and we think, oh, what am I going to do with that? But trust that if we know these things, there is a reason. And if we're not supposed to know, we can ask for it to be taken away. But if we are supposed to know, let's ask to be divinely inspired how to action that. All right, my brain functions optimally. Deep restorative sleep comes easily. And that relates back to your heart, of course. So when you're not following your heart or listening to your heart, then your sleep is going to be disturbed. So, start journaling, start having nature walks where you can dump the things that are stuck there as you walk through the trees and through the bush. All right, my perception enables me to help myself and others achieve their highest purpose. And I think that's important. Sometimes someone will say something to us and it just like puts everything in order, and you just think, oh, yes, I clearly see now how I've been thinking wrongly, or, it's not really how I thought it was. So it's like being open to hearing things or watching things or things that will always help us to have a better understanding, to grow, to learn, to vibrate at a higher level. All right, my vision is illuminated by gratitude and love. And so if we didn't have problems, we wouldn't grow and learn, would we? So, I had eczema as a child, and my mum had a huge growth and learning curve through my eczema and became very interested in natural health. And, it's become a pattern for her entire life. And, me and one of my sisters are chiropractors. I've got a sister that's a doctor. So we have become interested in health, which probably started through the journey of my eczema. So, you know, everything has a purpose, even the difficult things. What are we learning from it? How are we understanding better? All right, stuff stuck in our mind. All right, so we talk a little bit about forgiveness. All right, so the power of now centers us enough to be functioning from the space of neutrality of the moment, in contrast to imagining fears of the future and the shackles of the past. All right, so our ultimate goal, however, is more than loving ourselves. It's forgiving ourselves, being proud or confident in ourselves. It is to no longer identify with the self, to relinquish the separation self identification breeds, to know we are one with the universe. We're here to learn that self is imposed by the veil of the mind. We're here to learn, our ego, the king or queen of self-land, seeks to rule and reign unquestioned. So the ego dictates the difference between yours and mine. So enlightenment dissolves the line or barrier between us that creates wars and conflict, hate and persecution. For we see that as we do unto others, it is already being done unto us. So what or who do you need to forgive? Do you need to forgive your body for the things it's showing you and understand that it's actually a good message rather than feeling that you're failing? All right. So I guess often we've had difficult experiences in the past and they get stuck in our body. And so it's like acknowledging the pain, acknowledging the difficulty, clearing energy around it so that we've achieved whatever we need to achieve from this particular experience. And it doesn't mean we ever forget the experience, but we need to remember what we've learned, and it gives us the opportunity to springboard even to greater things. All right, so one of the lessons that it can include is the person who needs forgiving may not seem to deserve it, but you do, and you're worthwhile, and it's good for you to forgive so that you're not carrying that around with you. And this is a quote in our book. It was from Mark Twain. It says, "Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it." So sometimes we have been crushed by life experiences. We may feel like we're still being crushed, but we become more beautiful and more, I guess, tenacious and also resilient through the experiences that we go through. We mightn't like them and we might feel pain from these experiences, but if we can go past that, we can grow through these experiences. All right, so now we're going to jump up into the ninth chakra, which is above the crown chakra. Yep. So sometimes it's about we struggle, we have an inability to understand the lessons contained in our experiences. And maybe that's a thought for prayer and meditation. What am I learning from this experience? What do I need to understand? Because I think once we have the understanding and the lesson and the growth, often the problem can pass. So sometimes we might need silence where we actually, spend time by ourselves without any social media or without any noise in the background and actually sit with our thoughts and feel our feelings. All right, I am conscious and know who I am. I have an awareness of my own needs, desires, and purpose. And so, if we can become more congruent with what our heart feels and what we're inspired to do, the more our body can function. And it may tell us where the energy's stuck, things that are preventing us from rising higher. And then this comes back to sleep again. I have a sound and rejuvenating sleep and awake, refreshed, and energetic. So sometimes we're going through life a little blind. We're not really seeing what we are. So sometimes we come across a person or event or something happens and we can really see who we are and our heartfelt purpose is exposed. So as this lunar chakra opens, uh, it opens our soul's ability to express itself. And I think that's vital. So if you think about having a splinter, and if you don't get the splinter out, eventually it will fester and it will become a little infection and be sore. And eventually the little splinter has to still come out. And even though it might cause us a lot more pain and suffering, it's important that, that we understand what needs to happen from that. All right, so back into the crown chakra. All right, I connect easily with life and the people around me. All right, I relax and trust the process of life. All right, I'm living in contact with my inner being. I'm integrating the higher aspects of myself. My nerves and intercellular pathways are connecting. All right, back to the brow chakra. All right, I am the loving operator of my mind. I'm balancing out my time issues. I have full power over my life choices. And sometimes we can't choose the things that happen, but we can choose how we react to the things that happen. And we can choose to learn and grow through it, or we can just choose to be angry and hang on to it, which, I've got the stubbornness thing. Sometimes I want to do that, but that's not what's going to be in my best interest. Okay, jumping up now, we're in the solar star chakra, which is above the lunar one. All right, so this is about all the good and the bad and the ugly, all the things that happen in life, understanding them, living your life's purpose, and incorporating all the things that happen in life. So sometimes we have pride in our achievements and we can think, I did this all myself. And yes, you did. But you also are given experiences and opportunities to make a difference to you and to others. And sometimes the difficult experiences are even more growth and learning. All right, and an oil. So an oil called Console. So sometimes things happen that we don't like, and sometimes we can feel hurt and sad and um, not see how a good solution can come out of the difficulty that we're facing. All right, so Console can assist individuals in taking the first steps toward healing. It encourages individuals to seek divine intervention so they may experience the ever present mantle of warmth, love, and consolation. Console helps ease burdens, assists in experiencing a serene heart and mind, and guides individuals toward emotional rest. So you could use it as a perfume, you could put on your wrists, or you can put it over your heart or behind your ears, all good places to help release some of the burdens that are stuck in our body. Okay, back to the throat chakra. All right, I easily express myself and with courage. So we need you to express yourself. And sometimes it is scary and you need courage. But the more that you do and you speak about what you feel, the more that you change lives. I think too that times are coming and in the process that we will have to rely more and more on ourselves and our divine interventions that we receive, the inspirations that we receive. Because the general populace and the things that we've relied on are no longer as safe and secure and reliable as they were. So it comes down to we have to have our own connection and to trust that. And I've come to a point that I cannot watch TV because I can't deal with what they say. So it's important to be very filtering about what you allow into your mind and what you read, what you listen to, what you look at, because all these things become stored. And so it's like they can become other hurts and energy stuck in your body. So be very judicious in what you watch and what you listen to, and pray to have a good spirit around you, to have discernment, so that when something doesn't feel good, stay away. When something feels good, listen and learn and grow. And I think these things are really important. And our body, where the energy gets stuck, is part of that learning. And the more that we can talk nicely to ourselves and, step back from the experiences and understand that this is something to learn, not that we're failing, but it's the opportunity to grow even more, then we can be kinder to ourselves and to our body. All right. So, uh, the next Energy Works get together, I'm pretty sure it's the 30th of September. And we also have an advanced Energy Works in Sydney, the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think it's the 13th. I have to look up my dates, but I'm pretty sure it's 11th, 12th, 13th. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday that week in October. So if you're interested in learning more about energy clearing, learning more muscles, learning more aspects of it, mixing with like-minded people, having a go, please feel free to come. And, we want everyone to feel comfortable and safe and to feel like they are with like-minded people. Anyway, thank you very much for all those that jumped on the call. Thank you for commenting. It really helps me to clear energy, and I appreciate your support and love, and send it right back to you. Thank you. Bye.